about where we gonna put the pictures.
They moving too fast. They making look.
Put it on me. Put it on me. Up top. Put it on him. I switched to the oh, I see the difference.
Everybody follow my name.
What time? 24 minutes. Okay. All right. Thank you.
To the members who join me here on the stage, faculty, staff, and students, good afternoon. Let's give a rousing round of applause for the choir headed by our new choir director, Thank you, Dr. Mellor. You may be seated.
You sit right here.
Today, we gather to participate in the Lincoln University traditional annual opening convocation, where we honor and celebrate our student leaders as they take their official oath of office to serve in varied leadership capacities that will ultimately help enhance and advance the Lincoln legacy. To start our program, I am going to introduce Mr. Drake Smith. He is the former SGA president, has the distinction of having been elected in his freshman year and served during his sophomore year. He's a political science major. He's a member of the Freedom 14, and he now serves as an intern in the office of the president. Drake will introduce our speaker. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. What a time to be alive. But before I get into my remarks, I just want to say as a point of personal privilege to the SGA, the class boards, the student senate, and the judicial board, you have never met this afternoon before, you'll never meet it again, so enjoy every moment of it. Congratulations. But on this auspicious occasion, it is my pleasure to get you acquainted with today's keynote, Professor Kilaboha Mapunye. And he has told me that in South Africa, one of the highest honors that students can bestow on a professor is not calling them professor or doctor, but calling them prof. And that's what I'll do today. So Prof. Kilaboha Mapunye was born in Zeerust, Northwest Province of South Africa, but grew up in Soweto, just outside of Johannesburg, and he has lived as a political exile in Botswana, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. He holds a doctoral degree in government from the University of Essex in the United Kingdom, a Master's of Public Administration from the University of Botswana, and a Bachelor's of Science in Sociology from the University of Zimbabwe. Professor Mapunye is a political science professor and former chair of the Department of Political Sciences in the College of Human Sciences at the University of South Africa. From 1993 to 1995, he worked for the government of Botswana's Women's Affairs Division, focusing on gender and women's rights. And between 2012 and 2018, he was the inaugural research professor of the Women's Investments Portfolios Holdings in the BAM Chair in Electoral Democracy in Africa at the University of South Africa. His work as a political science and public administration scholar with interest in African politics, elections, and post-independence bureaucratic performance in developing countries has taken him to many countries, including the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Austria, Brazil, and of course, the United States of America. He has written policy papers, publications, and presented papers at local and international conferences on elections, governance, gender, and democracy in South Africa. He has lectured at the University of the Western Cape, worked for South Africa's Human Sciences Research Council, served as South Africa's Director of International Affairs under the Public Service Department, and worked for the country's Electoral Commission. Professor Mapunye has observed elections in many African countries and regularly advises the South African Development Community and for the African Union and the 15-member South African Development Community's Electoral Commission's Forum on Election Issues. He contributes regularly to national and international debates on democracy, elections, and governance through the local and international media. Professor Mapunye also mentors colleagues, conducts research, provides academic leadership, and advice to the Department of Political Sciences at the University of South Africa for his academic matters. And as a member of the Higher Degrees Committee, he also supervises master's and doctoral students. In 2022, he was appointed visiting scholar in the Department of Political and Administrative Studies at the University of Botswana, and most recently, he has been selected as a Fulbright Scholar in Resident here at Lincoln University under our Political Science Department, where he will serve a term of 1 academic year. And this is even more impressive when you realize that our Fulbright program has been awarded by the Fulbright board for 5 years running. So I deem it a high honor and a personal privilege to present this most learned and distinguished man to you all this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce to some and present to others the Honorable Prof. Kilabuha Mapunye.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I feel nervous this afternoon, but I should be, because that's part of the work that I do. Good afternoon. The President of Lincoln University, Dr. Brenda Allen, the Provost, Dr. Patricia Joseph, esteemed faculty, staff, and most importantly, the students of Lincoln University. In absentia, Mrs. Ikanyem Mavis Mapunye, my wife, and my 2 daughters, Yaone and Yeholo, those are their names, family and friends in South Africa and Botswana, and of course the rest of the continent. My mother, Mary Marikeledi, probably proudly watching me from the sky. I suspect that I was asked to give this address because I recently attended the DNC, the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The first time when I just touched base and landed on US soil. Accompanying Mr. Drake Smith, a few students, and Dr. Wayne Edge from my Department of Political Science. Maybe it's because somebody said in Chicago that I have the most captivating smile at the hotel where we were staying, and I was surprised because it was a couple, a man and a woman. I think it's just an exaggeration, don't you think? The title of my address is Overcoming Harsh Conditions, Achieving Excellence. I am truly honored and privileged to have been asked to address this convocation, a special moment in the calendar of this historic institution, thousands of miles from my homeland. Yet I feel deeply connected to you through our shared pursuit of education and excellence. I stand before you as a living testimony to the power of perseverance, resilience, and unwavering determination. Before I begin my talk, let me tell you a story. The story of a little boy who grew up in a poor family in a very wild, thick, and dangerous forest in Africa. The forest was teeming with all kinds of wild animals, leopards, alligators, crocodiles, dangerous snakes, and reptiles, including the big animals like lions, elephants, rhinos, and buffaloes. These animals preyed on the villagers who lived in constant fear. One day, this boy, the son of a poor black widow, told her that he planned to confront these predators and save his people. His mom discouraged him and thought he was crazy to think like that, as these beasts would devour him. Besides, he was malnourished and had no shoes, no body armor, no weapons to tackle these animals. But the boy persisted for many years, and his plan succeeded with the help of other villagers eventually. The animals were removed from the village, driven further into the forest, and fenced off. The village became safe and habitable, and his mother never stopped thanking him for his brave but reckless efforts. This story might seem irrelevant to an important occasion such as this convocation, but I thought it would probably properly convey my perspectives befitting this occasion. I want to limit myself to 5 key issues in my reflection. 1, perseverance. 2, patience. 3, goal setting. 4, looking beyond one's difficult current circumstances. And 5, new civilization. The story of the little boy shows that patience pays. I should know that because I'm a marathon runner and we require patience when we're doing the run. His perseverance saved his village. He focused on the goal, his dream. His exceptional foresight and hope ensured the effective resolution of the problem in his village. Lastly, he laid the foundation of a new nature conservation strategy in his village. But now, you could ask, what has this convocation to do with the story of a little African boy in an African jungle? The answer, everything. Let me unravel this parable for you. The problem he dealt with was actually racial discrimination and apartheid oppression in South Africa, which he challenged with thousands of Soweto students and youths in June 1976. These are the villagers in my story. I am that boy who is addressing you right now, growing up in South Africa under the shadow of apartheid. My childhood was anything but easy. In Soweto in the 1970s, I walked to school barefoot, usually with only one pair of shoes the entire year. Had few or no books, braved gang-infested, violent neighborhoods to get to school, studied in dilapidated or substandard schools and classrooms. I studied under candlelight, not that I liked it, but because there was no electricity. And sometimes I had nothing to eat at school and at home. I endured corporal punishment at school daily for not wearing the appropriate school uniform or for some petty offenses. My family constantly moved from one house to another in the 1970s, begging for accommodation, as my mother never had an apartheid permit for residing lawfully in the black settlement of Soweto. I remember going to bed many times hungry, not knowing if there would be any food on the table the next day. My mornings often began well before sunrise to prepare for the long walk to the dilapidated school, miles away with no school transport. Now, despite these physical hardships, systemic and state-sanctioned oppression that constantly reminded me that I was inferior because of the color of my skin, I knew that education was both a privilege and a battleground. Like many others, I knew that it was crucial for survival, and despite being told that it was not meant for people like me, I rejected that narrative. The predators in my story, these are the apartheid authorities, once arrested me for selling apples at the street corner without a license in what they call a white town. Such licenses were only granted to white business people, but I needed the money to help my widowed mother cover our living expenses. I was also detained for days in September 1977 for attempting to attend the funeral of the slain Black consciousness movement leader, Steve Biko. Some of you might know about the story, who was buried in that year, 1977. Following my decision to lead student protests and confront apartheid as a member of the Soweto Students Representative Council, the SSRC, the police raids were persistent. They ransacked my home, often arriving around 2 a.m. in the morning, kicking doors, searching every nook and cranny, threatening family members and stripping us of our dignity. The fear of arrest, detention, torture, and losing loved ones constantly hang like a dark cloud over my head. Despite these darkest hours, however, I stuck to my belief in the power of education, which I saw as a way to honor the sacrifices of my family, friends, and fellow students. So, to all the students and incoming and outgoing members of the SGA, Drake, my message to you is this. You have wonderful opportunities and life chances here in the US. Use them. Like me, whatever you want to do, you can make it. The only question I have for you is, how eager are you to reach the highest level in the world? A long time ago, people believed that the earth was flat. In the 1970s, some said that the sky is the limit. Towards the year 2000, many will remember that they believed that the world would end in that year. We now know better. Thanks to education, which demystified these ideas or those fallacies. Your future started with the first step that you made at Lincoln. Focus on your goal. Despite the numerous obstacles you may face, hold on to your dreams because they are the future of this world. Who says that? William V.G. Howard in his 1980 song. Globally, we often hear about giving power to the people. In the university such as this one, as an institution, this exists because of the students, that power. So why not talk about power to the students? For a change, for they power the university's engines. I should know this. In 1976, my fellow Black Soweto student leaders died nearly chanting, Black power, power to the students, power to Africa, and an end to racism in South Africa. Thanks to their voices, the United Nations declared apartheid a crime against humanity. Student voices will enhance governance and government at Lincoln University. Through education, we will emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, as the Jamaican singer Bob Marley reminded us. No one but ourselves, he reminded us, can do that. In Southern Africa and elsewhere in the world, we are witnessing the emergence of developmental states and a new civilization. This civilization is slowly developing from the ruins and ashes of former racist and apartheid societies. This will be part of my tasks at Lincoln University, working with Dr. Wayne Edge, he's somewhere here in the procession, in the political science department, and those who want to reach, dissect, and understand these civilizations. Hopefully, this will result in a better Africa, a better USA, a better Latin America, Asia, and a better world. The significance of this convocation to all of us gathered here is this. Let us remain true to Lincoln University's motto, learn, liberate, and lead. I have done that by confronting apartheid in the 1970s. Lincoln University's legacy of centuries of opening the doors of education to those who were excluded from education is for me a key lesson. As one who witnessed firsthand the manifestations of such exclusion, I will learn even more from this Lincoln legacy. The power of education helped me and many Africans to defeat the most brutal system of racial discrimination, a system that took away my teenage years, adolescence, and early adulthood, experiences that are familiar to many parts of Africa and globally. As I stand before you at Lincoln University today, I want to leave you with this message. Your journey, like mine, will be filled with obstacles, some of which may seem impossible. But remember, such obstacles must not define you. You will never know that you've got gold in your hands until someone comes along, snatches it away from you. Believe in yourself. In conclusion, I thank all the parents here and family members. We need your support, faculty and administrative staff. And I congratulate the students who will be installed as the new members of the SGA. Remember, with power comes accountability and responsibility. May your journey be as transformative as mine has been. Finally, I thank the Fulbright Foundation, I saw Dr. Gardner a short while ago, for selecting me to be Lincoln University's 2024-2025 Fulbright Scholar in Residence, and Lincoln University for baptizing me with the fire by asking me to be your speaker today, keynote speaker. Come on, Lincoln Lions, I'm one of you now. Let's do this thing together. Kia aloha.
Better than that. That was a great here with us today.
23 minutes.
We're now going to hear from Choir again. He has done marvelous.
I think that one's in the charger. Ain't the middle off?
It's up.
No, it's off. No, it's there.
That's how. Testing. Patience. I did.
struggles or your struggles and the struggles of people throughout the diaspora, and we are just so honored to have you here as a part of our faculty this year. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being so generous with your story. Good afternoon. So my job here is to do what you all have been waiting for, a little more, and that is to induct this year's SGA and Student Senate and class boards and a whole bunch of good governance folks. But before I get started, I just wanted to say a couple of things about governance and why it's so important. Shared governance, that is the involvement of faculty, staff, and students along with administration, is really designed to move the mission of the university forward and to help us to thrive into perpetuity. For the faculty, this means that we work together to provide time, resources, and training that allow you all to function at the highest level, offering quality educational experiences for every student, an education that propels our graduates to a productive, professional, and personal lives. We work together with our staff to afford them the tools, the development, and the support required to professionally operate the university, operations that sustain the academic mission. And for students, we are laser focused on providing a living, learning environment to support the intellectual, social, and cultural developmental characteristics of a well-educated person, an environment replete with opportunities to hone and broaden the essential skills needed to succeed beyond college, hence the learn, liberate, lead. This is what accepting a leadership position on a governing body calls us to do, to work together to advance the university mission. Before I install this group, I want to just say that they have already begun to be a very collaborative group. And I'm proud to say that while collaboration among the different governing bodies at universities are often perceived as adversarial relationships, I'm reminded that this is my 8th SGA installation since I've been here, so that's cool, y'all number 8. We have found our way to be more collaborative in those. And this SGA in particular, before even taking their oath of office, stepped up at the end of last school year when we were trying to understand how we would be able to lift our voices in protest to what was happening in Gaza, and how we might go about doing that in such a way that was respectful across the board. Not even as officers, they came to the office to try to understand the vast perspectives that everyone was trying to pull together to find a solution. And so if that action is any indication of how you all will govern for the rest of this year, I'm looking forward to having you as a part of our administrative process to engage you in those important conversations, because you have already shown the kind of leadership and the willingness to come to the table, to listen, to also offer, and to help us to come to the best solutions for the institution and the mission. And so we are proud of you, and we're ready to give you your oath. So if you will all stand, this is for the SGA. Raise your right hand. Can you raise your right hand? Okay. So I've been charged with the task of administering the oath for our newly elected Student Government Association officers. An oath, if taken with sincere reverence and internalized in its entirety, maintains the incalculable possibility to enhance a person's overall character and integrity. For at the cornerstone of an oath lies the expectation for a person to, 1, speak the truth, and B, keep their promises. Prior to today, the leader standing before you adhered to an unwritten oath. He or she stated with unwavering confidence that if elected, they would carry out their prescribed platform. With that in mind, you, the student body, cast a vote of confidence that these individuals were prepared and qualified to govern during this academic year. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you raise your right hand, please repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear to faithfully execute the office within the Student Government Association to the best of my ability by representing the welfare and interests of the student body and the university, facilitating communication and dialogue among students, faculty, staff, administrators, and alumni in matters affecting the welfare of the student body, promoting academic excellence, and good moral and ethical practices, providing opportunities for the development of superior character and leadership ability among its members, exercising the prerogatives and responsibilities of student government as provided in the Constitution in cooperation with the University Administration, giving students an active voice in the governance of Lincoln University, and playing a lead role in planning activities which are of recreational, social and developmental interest to the student body. Do you accept the obligations without hesitation, mental reservation, or purpose of evasion? That's a lot. Okay, I got power again. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Lincoln University, I do hereby proclaim and announce you as the 2024-2025 Student Government Association Executive Board Officers. Boards to stand. So, this says, prior to today, the leader standing before you adhere to an unwritten oath. He or she stated with unwavering confidence that if elected, they would carry out the prescribed platform. With that in mind, you, the student body, cast votes of confidence that these individuals were prepared and qualified to govern during this academic year. And by your claps, I believe you all did declare such. So if you all can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear to faithfully execute the office within the Student Senate and class board to the best of our ability by representing the welfare and interests of the student body and the university, facilitating communication and dialogue among students, faculty, staff, administration, and alumni in matters affecting the welfare of the student body, promoting academic excellence, and good moral and ethical practices, providing opportunities for the development of superior character and leadership ability among its members, exercising the prerogatives and responsibilities of Student Senate and Class Board as provided in the Constitution in cooperation with the University Administration and giving students an active voice in the governance of Lincoln University. Do you accept this obligation without hesitation, mental reservation, or purpose of evasion? I accept. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Lincoln University, I do hereby proclaim and announce you as the 2024-2025 Student Senate and Class Board. Can we give them a hand? I'm sorry, before the band, I didn't do the judicial board. They are very important. As the old people say, my bad. Give me a minute. Okay. Judicial Board, please stand. So again, prior to today, the leader standing before you adhere to an unwritten oath. He or she, with unwavering confidence, if elected, would carry out their prescribed platform. With that in mind, you, the student body, cast a vote of confidence that these individuals were prepared and qualified to govern. So could you all raise your right hand? I state your name. Solemnly swear to faithfully execute the office within the judicial board to the best of my ability by representing the welfare and interests of the student body, facilitating communication and dialogue among students, faculty, staff, administration, and alumni in matters affecting the welfare of the student body, promoting academic excellence, and good moral and ethical practices, providing opportunities for the development of superior character and leadership ability among its members, exercising the prerogative and the responsibilities of the Student Judicial Board, as provided by the Constitution, in cooperation with the University Administration, and giving students an active voice in the governance of Lincoln University. Do you accept this obligation without hesitation, mental reservation, or purpose of evasion? You accept? All right. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Lincoln University, I again do hereby proclaim and announce you as the 2024-2025 Judicial Board. Welcome.
Come by here, good Lord, come by here. Come by here, good Lord, come by here. Come by here, good Lord, come by here. Oh,